Hi, third graders. Are you ready for the next lesson? You want to be prepared, so you need your packet and a pencil, and you need your dry erase and an eraser or a sock, something like that. Be very helpful to have this place value chart handy. And remember to erase each time so it stays nice and clean. And then I just wanted to show you this. This is what we'll be doing today. Less than. The arrow points to the left. Greater than, it points to the right. And then, of course, the equal sign. Let's get started. During our learning videos, it's always going to be important to listen to Mr. B, and then when I ask you to do a problem, or before I do it, you want to push play to give yourself a chance to do it, and then, or push pause and then push play again. So here we go. We'll get started. How can numbers be expressed, ordered, and compared? And here are symbols, again pointing to the left, your left, less than, pointing to the right, greater, and then equal. And sometimes teachers have the little teeth in there. It always has to eat the biggest number, but we say less than and greater than, and we'll practice that. Here's a number of miles. A family went on a trip, and they went to the Grand Canyon. Beautiful, isn't it? One route was 840 miles, and a different route they could go would be 835 miles. We're going to compare those two numbers, and one of the ways is to use a place value chart, like the one that you have, and the thousands would be right here. Both numbers have 3 digits. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. And the second number, 835, also has 3 digits. When they have 3 digits, you can start with the largest place value, and that would be the hundreds. And the value in each of those is an 8. Both numbers have an 8. Then we go to the tens. Sometimes it's kind of nice just to cover that. That's what I like to tell kids. Cover and look at the hundreds first. Slide it over, look at the tens, especially if there's 3 numbers. In the tens, there's a 4 and a 3, so the 4 is the largest, and we know 4 tens is greater than 3. Therefore, 840 is greater than 835. Another way is to use a number line, and I know that I gave you a number line, but it's not nearly this big. What a number line is really is a portion of the numbers. This is between 830 and 840. That arrow means numbers go back all the way smaller, all the way back to 0. And this number right here with that arrow, that would be pointing to all the numbers that are greater than 840, and there are a lot. It goes on forever. Well, we notice our two numbers, 835 here, 840 there. 840 is farther along in the numbers, and we know that 840 therefore is greater than, and that's the arrow pointing to the right, and 835 is less than, pointing to the left. So 835 is to the left. That's how we can remember less and left. Starts with an L. Less to the left, and we're going to have to point that one to the left. The way we read that is 835 is less than 840. I'm going to erase that. I was trying to slide the chart down. 840 is less than 835 is less than 840. Right here. And 840 must be greater, and that would point to the right. So we say this, 840 is to the right because it's greater. 840 is greater than 835. Since 835 is less than 840, then which route is shorter? I'll slide this down. The second route. So we would write in second route would be the one which is shorter, and maybe it'll save a little bit of time driving that way. We'll go to the next slide. Remember, boys and girls, you can push pause and then write your answers and then push play again. So here's some practice page with the charts. Why is it not necessary to compare the ones digit in the numbers 365 and 378? 365 and 378. Well, we start with the greatest place. There's three digits, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, both in the hundreds. There's a 3 in the hundreds here and a 3 in the hundreds here. That's the same, but when we move to the tens, the 7 is greater, and we already know which is greater, 378, which is less, 365, and we don't even have to look at the ones. Which one is less? Look at the hundreds, 800, 400. Pause, and then push play, and the answer, we're going to write 4 is smaller, so 400 is less than 870. Push pause and try this one. Look at the thousands first. 9 is greater, so we're done right there. They both have 4 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can look at the greatest place, the thousands, and we know that the 6 is less, pointing to the left. 6,403 is less than 9,630. Now we can use a number line. 888, where would that be? Well, somewhere between 180 and 190. Right in the middle is 185, 186, 187, 188, about right here. 188, and where would 198? Keep counting from the left to the bigger numbers. 190, in the middle would be 195, 190, 191, 92, 93, 194, 195, and then 196, 197, 198. It would be about right here. So there's 198. Here's 188 on the number line. 188 is smaller to the left than 198. Go ahead and jump to the practice page. All right. Mr. B will help you do a couple of them, get you started. We're going to write, it says to compare, use a greater than or a less than or equal. 3 digits, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, they're in the hundreds. As a matter of fact, all of these will have the same number of digits, except for this one. Let's take a look. The 6 and the 5 in the hundreds. Well, right there, we can stop. We know the 6 is bigger, and so it's going to point to the right, or eat the biggest number. Let's go to number 5. This was our other number that we just did. 100, 100, 8 tens and 9 tens. 80, 8 tens, 9 tens. 9 tens is bigger. 188 is less, pointing to the left. All right. Mr. B wanted to show you one more. On these examples, to circle, it says first, circle the number that is greater. Which one's bigger? 5 in the hundreds, 7 in the hundreds. Oh, that's the bigger one, 700. And then complete the statement. It says this is pointing is greater, so I'll have to put this one in. Let's see if it's right. You know, if you don't get it right, you can erase it and say that doesn't make sense. So you need to write it and say it. 725 is greater than 555. Makes sense. Good luck, boys and girls. I know you can do it. I know yesterday's Yeah, the last assignment was a little harder maybe, but you guys keep on doing the great work and I'll be talking to you on Teams.